Big Tobacco sues FDA for cigarette warning labels. The FDA requires the labels to cover the entire top half of the cigarette packs, front and back, and include a number for Stop Smoking hotline.
The Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act was enacted 2 years ago. It allows for graphic warning labels, and it also allowed the FDA to limit nicotine and ban tobacco companies from sponsoring athletic or social events or giving away free samples or branded merchandise.
This is the plaintiff, R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. She says the defendant is crossing the line when it comes to regulating warning labels on the tobacco products. She is suing to defend the First Amendment rights of tobacco companies. This is the defendant, the FDA. She claims that the public's health and safety is more important than the tobacco company's rights.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You seated? Come to order, please.
Thank you, Douglas. So, R.J. Reynolds Tobacco, you are suing the FDA for insisting that your product require a warning label that is 20% the size of your package and has one of a series of graphic images. Please explain.
Title 15 of the United States Code Service, Section 1333, states, tobacco products must have a Surgeon General's warning. The warning must be in capital letters and must be legible in contrast to the color of the packaging. The size of the warning must be proportionate to the size of the packaging.
Some of the largest U.S. tobacco companies, including R.J. Reynolds Tobacco and Marlboro Tobacco, had questioned the constitutionality of the labels, saying the warnings don't simply convey facts to inform people's decision whether to smoke, but instead force the cigarette makers to display government anti-smoking advocacy more prominently than their own branding. They also say that changing cigarette packaging will cost millions of dollars. Meanwhile, the Food and Drug Administration has said that the public interest in conveying the dangers of smoking outweighs the company's free speech rights. Leon also wrote that they were neither designed to protect the consumer from the confusion or deception, nor to increase consumer awareness of smoking risk. Rather, they were crafted to evoke a strong emotional response calculated to provoke the viewer to quit or never start smoking in the first place.
These images don't share statistics with the public. These pictures are subjective. I have samples for you, Your Honor. They would be rotated periodically to feature a different image every so often.
The 9 graphic images provided by the FDA include color images of a man exhaling cigarette smoke through a tracheotomy hole in his throat, a plume of cigarette smoke enveloping an infant receiving a mother's kiss, a pair of diseased lungs next to a pair of healthy lungs, a diseased mouth afflicted with what appears to be cancerous lesions, a man breathing out of an oxygen tube, a cadaver on a table with a post-autopsy chest staples, a woman weeping, a premature baby in an incubator, and a man wearing a t-shirt that features a no smoking symbol in the words "I quit."
We do already have a warning on our packages. It's more accurate than the pictures.
Your Honor, it is absolutely absurd. If I may object, the images are just stronger warnings. They are clearly visuals for those who are illiterate and have the right to know what tobacco is doing to them.
Title 15 of the United States Code Service, Section 1331, states the public has a right to be informed of any and all health risks associated with smoking.
But have you actually looked at these pictures, FDA? I mean, they're really over the top and they don't convey as much as the Surgeon General's warning. I know you like to think that, but they really are, as I believe, a scare tactic.
Title 15 of the United States Code Service, Section 1334, states no warning other than the Surgeon General's warning is necessary on tobacco products. States can interfere with where, when, and how often tobacco advertising occurs, but not with the content as long as they are not misrepresenting their product.
I'm sorry, but this is over the top. In fact, this is ridiculous. I'm looking at this paperwork, and there's clearly evidence that says you could approach this in a completely different way. You have other options. You have television. You have your own ad campaigns. You have the rights to billboards. You know, the tobacco companies can't advertise anymore because of your regulations. I mean, you're going to tell them that now they have to put your campaign on their product? I mean, you really have to sympathize with how ridiculous you're being right now. Really, I honestly believe the Surgeon General's warning, which is the law right now, is enough for the packaging.
Tobacco companies are increasingly relying on their packaging to build brand loyalty and grab consumers. It's one of the few advertising levels left to them after the government curbed their presence in magazines, billboards, and TV. Leon also pointed out alternatives for the federal government to curb tobacco use, such as increasing anti-smoking advertisements, raising tobacco taxes, reducing the size and changing content of the labels, and improving efforts to reduce youth access to tobacco products.
I don't know what to say.
It seems obvious to me what the option is. I just don't know how else to convey it to you. You have to either pursue your picture campaign on a different format, or you need to leave these guys alone. I just don't see how productive it is to put these slanderous pictures that really don't do much more than scare people away from the product. It's not effective. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to rule in favor of the tobacco companies.
U.S. District Judge Richard Leon in Washington ruled that the federal mandate to put the images, which include a sewn-up corpse of a smoker and a picture of diseased lungs, on cigarette packs violate the Free Speech Amendment to the Constitution. While the tobacco industry's latest legal challenge may not hold up, it could delay the new warning labels for years, and that is likely to save cigarette makers millions of dollars in lost sales and increased packaging costs.